to move around and detect green objects and then pick them up. So first of all, we need to find the colour sensor value for the green object. So we need to do this by manually moving the robot around until it's over a green object and then record the RGB value for that sensor. This is quite hard to do because we can't see exactly what colour the colour sensor is over. So to make life easier, we can go to camera and then select this show colour sensor in a separate window. This is the colour sensor view for the blue robot on the left hand side. This is the blue robot on the right hand side, and this is for the red robot left and then right hand side sensor. So let's select it. Fortunately it doesn't work that well, so you just need to grab it and move it around, and we can now see the colour for the left hand, that sensor there, colour sensor. Now we need to do a bit of fiddling with manual control, using this control, so the colour sensor is over a green object. Now I've just handily got my positioned right near a green object. Now that only took me about 2 hours. So let's just move it forward a bit, and hopefully, green! Okay, once you've got a green covered, you now want to record the RGB values. So we've got 0 red, 165 green, and 5 blue. Now these may vary a little bit because the program has shadows, so if you've got a shadow over it, it could change a bit and things like that, but they'll be similar to that. So record those values and then we can move on to the program.
Now we know our colour sensor values for the green objects, we can start a program. So go to the competition tab and click on the AI button. Open the previous program you have written that goes around the field, detecting walls and turning. So first of all, we need to add a new statement within the bundle. And let's call this detect green left. So the first thing we always need to do is set our condition. So we've got our colour sensor values, and we know only one colour sensor can see the green object at any one time. So the only conditions we need to set are for the left colour sensor to detect a green object on the left colour sensor anyway. We'll need to do the right in a minute. So our red value was 0. So let's set a minimum and maximum value of between 0 and 5, just to give some leeway in case of shadows or uncertainty in the readings. Green between 160 and 200. Oh, oopsie daisy. 160 and 200. Then blue between 0 and 10. So what action do we need? Well, we definitely need to stop. So let's set to those 0 to 0. And in accordance to the rules, we need to flash our LED for at least 3 seconds. So let's change that to 3 seconds. Very importantly, we also need to change this key action to find object. These key actions inform in the software when you have found an object, and also for things like teleporting, and we also have game end. So they're very important, so without that you will get no points. So make sure you have find object selected. So we now have the highest priority statement, which is correct because we want it to interrupt any other statement if we detect green. Super fantastic. Let's save that and build. Excellent. Close that, and now let's load that into the blue robot. Remember always to open the project and go to the DLL file every time, otherwise you will not load the latest version of the software. So now let's click Start. And our robot should now move around. Now it's just a matter of waiting until the left colour sensor sees a green object. We can give it a bit of a hand though using the manual control panel. Not that that necessarily helps that much, but you can try. So can we go through that one? No, we're not going to manage it. So what we want to do is just to check the program's working. So we just need to go round till we hit a green object, which could take a bit of a time. So but our program's working well. It's moving around, it's detecting walls. So let's see if we can get it to hit a green. Oh, no, missed it. Yep, and we have collected a green. It stopped, flashed, and this here shows that our green updated. It also then went away because we went over this blue area, which is a trap. But we have now collected an object. So now let's update it so it also can detect objects using its right colour sensor. Just to say quickly, we have collected another object, so we've got another 15 points, and this time we haven't lost it. So the program's working really well. So now let's go to the competition tab, reset the game, and click on the AI button and open our project again. First project. So to detect green on right, we want to right click and add a new statement again. Let's call this detect green right. Okay. So now we want to set a condition for the right colour sensor. So again, let's set red between 0 and 5, green between 160 and 200, and blue between 0 and 5. Again, we want our action to be 300 milliseconds, our key action to be find object, our wheels to stop, and our LED to flash. Okay, brilliant. Now, we've got the priority. We cannot give them equal priority, but right having a slight priority over left is not an issue as long as those are the highest priority in the program. So now, again, we can save, build, then load into our robot again, going into the program, green tick, and now let's start. So now, if we go over a green object with either the left or right colour sensor, we should detect an object. Obviously, in this program we've got quite a lot of work to do, and here we go. Sorry about that, we have now detected a green object, we have collected it, and our score has increased. So let's now see if we can go around and perhaps collect another obstacle. Obviously we also need to change the program so it's not turning through quite as far, and also perhaps it's more controlled and doesn't go as fast. So of course there is a trade-off between speed at which you're moving and likelihood of detecting objects. So let's see if I can just manually check that the program is working. I don't think I've quite managed it, and we have gone over a trap, so I'm afraid we've lost our other object. There we go. No, that's the problem. So now I've written a program to detect green objects. We need to do the same, but for red and green objects. So to do that, first need to go through the whole process of going to this robot tab and moving the robot manually over the red and black objects and using the camera to find the RGB values for the red and black. You then need to add 2 statements for red, 2 statements for black, one for the left colour sensor and one for the right colour sensor, and go through the same process of defining the action to have a key action of find object, settling the robot to stop and also to flash its LED. You need to have a think about the priority of those. We want all the find object statements to be the highest, but perhaps you want black, which are the highest scoring, to have the high prioritized. And again, once you've done that, you need to test the program. Already start to think to little modifications you could make to improve your searching strategy. For example, here we should have it so we're not bouncing off at an angle that's near 180 degrees, but perhaps more 430. Also, perhaps you could include not just to turn when the front ultrasound sensor seems a value of 20, but perhaps the left and right. So have a go at that.